What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I ain't telling you nothing in this video that you probably already didn't know. Just more detail to what we already knew and what they had been trying to hide for 4 years. President Joe Biden is not fully in charge of the country due to cognitive decline, and a shadow presidency is controlling him, a Democratic National Committee member has said. Lindy Lee, a member of the DNC's National Finance Committee, expressed her concerns about the mental acuity of the 82-year-old president in an interview on News Nation on Sunday. Newsweek contacted the White House via email and Lee via social media for comment outside regular working hours. Biden's presidency was rife with concerns about his cognitive abilities from both sides of the aisle, which were heightened after his subpar performance at the CNN presidential debate this past June, leading to the suspension of his 2024 presidential bid. They resurfaced following Vice President Kamala Harris' election defeat, and the White House and several leading Democratic figures have faced criticism for allegedly hiding Biden's mental decline from the voting and the viewing public, and preventing another candidate from totally emerging and potentially emerging sooner in a Democratic primary. The Wall Street Journal recently published a detailed report on a White House that has been functioning with a diminished Biden at the helm since as early as 2021. The report, citing dozens of sources, including Democratic lawmakers and former Biden staffers, said limits were placed on who Biden spoke with, what the president's team said to him, and the types of information he received. The White House denied the claims that Biden had declined or had been insulated during his time in office. Speaking to News Nation Prime, Lee said the allegations in the report are further confirmation of what we've known about Biden for the past few years. People don't want to hear the truth, and it's extremely devastating in so many regards because President Biden as a human being is no longer capable of executing the duties of commander-in-chief. Also, we kind of have a shadow presidency of his inner circle of people, certain people around him, his senior advisors who are essentially running the country. When asked by host Natasha Zuviz to expand on her claims of a shadow presidency, Lee said, "If we were to define that term as an inner circle who's really close to the ranks, who protects them at every juncture, and I know them, then I'm sorry, but it's true." Look, we already knew this. Okay, we might have known the intricate details, but we knew just from observation that this man could not possibly be president. Not really. He's a figurehead. You know what I'm saying? He's president in name only, and there was really, basically, he's Uncle Junior from The Sopranos. He has the title, but somebody else is actually running things. And it's because of the fact that Joe Biden has some form of dementia. You know, he's not totally gone, but he just has that look. I mean, you can observe this man in public, and you can see how he behaves, how he reacts to certain things. This isn't the same Joe Biden, even from 5-6 years ago. Hell, when he was running for president in 2019, 2020, we could see a decline in him then. There were reports about President Obama, former President Obama, begging this guy not to run for president then. But, you know, I guess a combination of ambition. He desperately wanted to be president of the United States. That was his third attempt. at running for the presidency. The first two were in 1988 and 2008. And, the Democratic Party just didn't really have a viable candidate. I mean, the people's candidate from the party was Bernie Sanders. Technically he's not a Democrat. He caucused with Democrat. They didn't want him to be the standard bearer. So the Democrats brought that on themselves. They rigged the process so that Biden would be the overwhelming favorite to win the primary campaigns, the primary elections. They rigged it. And then when they finally got a good look at this guy and said, okay, wow, he's really not up to the job, they hid it from the American people. Now, I ask you, what makes what they did any different than Watergate? Because essentially, Watergate was a nothing crime. It was the cover-up, right? It was the cover-up or the obstruction of justice, right? Okay, fine. Now, there's really no investigation going on here, but they are guilty of committing a crime in the sense that they were hiding from the American people that you have an elected leader. We didn't elect the cabinet. We didn't elect the staff, but they were acting collectively as a president. Somebody was making the decisions, the final decisions, when it comes to domestic policy and foreign policy, and it really wasn't Joe Biden. We didn't elect these other people. The American people elected Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So at the end of the day, Joe Biden was guilty, whether he knew it or not, of malfeasance because he wasn't able to do his job as president, right? So really, he should have resigned via the 25th Amendment. If he's that bad, he should have resigned. The 25th Amendment should have been either, let me put it like this, he either should have resigned or push come to shove, the 25th Amendment should have been invoked and he was removed from office. Now that, of course, would have left us with Kamala Harris. But hell, we already didn't really have a president anyway. We had a pretend president. But it just bothers me how, more than that, the mainstream media, those who cover Washington, the political reporters who are about 85 to 90% liberal, they chose to ignore this. They knew what was going on. The Washington insiders, they knew this. But because it would potentially hurt the candidate that they prefer or the president that they like, they didn't report it. Because you better believe, if there's ever any inkling that Donald Trump, soon to be President Trump again, if there's any indication that he's seriously slipping, you better believe these Washington insiders are going to report that. You better believe it, and they're going to put pressure on him to resign. That's the problem I have with the media, is their bias. You know what I mean? But yeah, this isn't anything that we didn't know already. And I've been doing videos about this. My boy LB, may he rest in peace, he was doing videos about this. We all knew, man. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. So what you guys think?